Hello everyone, and welcome to the Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer Tournament group stage. I am Frank32, joined by Growlwolf. How are you doing, Growlwolf?
I am doing very well tonight. I am looking forward to an extremely good race here between a couple of extremely good runners.
Absolutely. We have TrueHyperMario in his second year doing the Randomizer Tournament, and he also is pretty big in the Finnish SMB3 community. And we have Wake911. I believe it's his first year joining the tournament. So it should be an interesting matchup.
Absolutely. And honestly, for somebody that has just come into the tournament, I am extremely impressed with Wake 911, and I can't wait to see what he does here. I'm really hoping to see either spoil or something happen because we've got Group F where DLP 316 has already claimed first with a 5-1, but True Hyper Mario can actually play a little bit of a upset here if he sweeps Wake 911 and will actually jump into that second place spot. So a lot riding on the line for both these guys.
And it looks like we have World 3 first.
And we'll be getting the stream all synced up here in just one moment. We got some incredible people with SpeedGaming that work behind the scenes and just do a fantastic job. So don't worry too much about the 14-second difference. We'll get it taken care of.
Alright, looks like we're going to be doing some pipe hunting here.
You know, I love the start on World 3 when you have 5 pipes on the main island, and of course only one of those goes to the 6th, which goes straight to Wendy's Castle. Love it. We'll get a little bit of a shake up here, maybe see if we can get some divergence, and right off the bat we've got a death from True Hyper.
Yeah, it looks like Wake 911 is right behind him, taking on 5F1. Takes it nice and slow with the thwumps. Not a bad play when you haven't gotten a power up yet.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest equalizers is in the very, very beginning. It really shows the caliber of these players. You don't get 1-1 to start most of the time. So now with something really tricky, it's almost beneficial at times to go after an easy level or even a mushroom house if it's in your way, just so you can get a little something to help you off with that initial shock. But now our runners are off and running. We'll see if there's any further issues here.
Looks like both are going to be picking up a P-Wing from those Hammer Brothers.
Not exactly a well-used item, and it looks like we've already got Wendy's Castle, a very jet World 3, but that P-Wing in a randomizer is huge.
Yeah, definitely run into a 7F1 or a 6.5.
Absolutely, a lot of really, really good options there. Even 7.6, you can actually fly over the level. 8.1, 8.2, both very good options as well.
Oh, absolutely. And it looks like Wendy opted for the water today. Just a one-hitter.
Honestly, not a terribly hard start for these guys. Wendy with one, no big deal. You know, it could get a lot worse, and especially if you get 3, 4, 5. But I'm sure for Wake 911, just speaking as a runner who had been in the tournament scene once, it is hard when you're facing off against the 3, 4, 5 Wendy. Getting that done out of the way, you've got a little bit of comfort. Now Wake 911 finds himself in 1-2, very familiar levels. Hopefully we can see a very comfortable run out of him.
Was going for the P-Speed strats, but he took damage a couple times. And it looks like Wake 911's taking it a little bit slower, and that could help him out a little bit. Sometimes in Randomizer, those speed strats can get you into trouble with the enemy sets.
Yeah, absolutely. And being a newer runner, there is a lot that could possibly really come out to play as being a tough one for you. But Wake911 just has to hold on to what he can do and what he knows. And okay, looks like he was actually interested in seeing what that fort would do to him. I don't hate that decision.
Yeah. Too bad. Now we're going through the pipe maze of 7-9, and oh, TrueHyperMario took a death from that fire snake. Very unfortunate.
Absolutely, and we'll see our first of the Peewee come out, grabbing that block to hopefully take out a couple of the enemies so he doesn't have too many issues with the memory, and there we go. Looks like we're back synced up again, and our runners are very close to being synced up, interestingly. So 7-9, just a long level with a lot of kind of twists and curves and all kinds of things. Wake911 going to go ahead and use a block to take on a mushroom. Unfortunately, a big death there, and that will put TrueHyper back in the lead.
Yeah, 7-9's not being very kind today, and unfortunately, Wake takes another death on the Hammer Brother. So he's just going to put it to sleep and go back into 7-9.
Yeah, I can't say I blame him for that. I mean, honestly, early game, it does help for sure having those extra items, but, that's not for everybody. Some players are very adamant about getting as many items as they can early. Other players just kind of take it as they go. It really depends on the person and really the set that we're playing. So, we'll have to wait and see what happens next, but 7-9 is the big answer right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm not, I don't feel too bad if someone takes a, fanfare either at the beginning, get a couple extra lives, especially if they're a little bit newer. It's a small time loss, but it could keep you from taking that horrible game over and having to repeat levels that are not forts.
Absolutely, and one of the other things that's actually really underrated is that of being able to exit a level early. And if you have that option as well at your hands, that's something that's big for our runners. And looky there, that's a favorite level of ours.
You love to see Atlantis early.
I do, because I do a lot of commentary. I'm sure our runners are groaning maybe just a little bit over this one, but it's one of the levels, and both players probably will have to play it here, so wait and see.
Yeah, and they're probably cursing whoever rolled this seed right now.
Interestingly, it was not me, and Frantic, it looks like you didn't do it either, so thank you to the mysterious benefactor. Okay, so very interesting, and that mysterious benefactor was actually Makobra. But yeah, TrueHyperMario actually did get a hammer early and was able to skip it, so that's a huge play. That the fact that Wake put those Boomerang brothers asleep actually means he doesn't have that hammer, therefore does not have the item advantage. So right off the bat, I mean, there's the item discrepancy we were talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely pays to play those Hammer Brothers early sometimes. Wake's going to have a little bit of catching up to do here. But it looks like TrueHyperMario's found out he's got to go back and play 6F3 or Carpet Fort.
Absolutely, and what an interesting place to be. We did have a fort at the beginning, so I am curious to see if that's actually going to be a requirement or not, or if 6F3 is going to open it up for us. So, should be interesting to see.
Now, do you prescribe to the theory of see a fort, play a fort?
I think it really depends on the context. Here in World 6, yes, absolutely. World 7, kind of the same way. Because you have such large maps, World 8, exactly the same way. If you have such a large map where you're wasting so much time traveling back and forth, yeah, I tend to go with the see a fort, play a fort, honestly.
it looks like we may actually find out because Wake decided not to go for 6F3. But now TrueHyperMario is going to have to go through 6-5, and this could be where E-Wing comes in handy because I don't believe Wake has used it yet.
Yeah, you're absolutely true. Or if he decides to go after that clip where True Hyper was just at, there is a way you could clip into that top right corner. Extremely hard to do. We see some of our more elite players go after things like that, but what an incredible clip if you could possibly get it. True Hyper. Oh! Knight!
You hate to see that.
That is highly unfortunate, and that is what keeps the randomizer interesting for sure. Whenever you have a case of a different enemy set being where they're just not supposed to be, you know, in that case we had the Mimic block come out of nowhere and snipe True Hyper, who was just trying to finish the level. We'll see if it happens again here.
Oh, and it does.
Yeah, I'm kind of with your obsoletes here. I like to see that Gooba block hit. That is a funny... I mean, it's funny for me because I'm on commentary, just to be honest, and I'm sadistic in that regard, so sorry, not sorry, but what a fun venture for us, I guess. I don't know. But it looks like True Hyper is going to take a bow out early and actually take the other level there.
Yeah, it's probably a smart play. That block is a real troll, and we'll see if Wake can get through it as he's caught back up due to 6-5 being a bit of a troll.
Absolutely, and there goes the tail. We'll see if he's able to somehow avoid it. It looked like he was moving pretty quick through there initially, but we'll see if it's enough to despawn anything. And that will be the castle on the right, or on the left side for True Hyper, and that will be the World 5 airship as he will be taking on Lemmy in the end. And Wake911 with 0 issues with that block. It did not jump, and he was able to get through on the first try, so very well played indeed.
Yeah, and I think Wake going up the left side of that little tunnel helped him, even if that Mimic block would have come after him.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's how he got through it without despawning, and then with that turtle shovel he brought up with him, an incredibly, I guess, 200 IQ play, if you will, because that was big for him to be able to get back up into this. Now Lemmy's going down, True Hyper Mario's falling down, and we're going into the next world. Get your guesses in, what you think?
Going World 1.
I gotta go with 7 here. Let's get some pipe maze action up in here.
And it's a big world, World 4, and we're going to be playing a fort right off the bat, 3F1.
And we see 3F1 here because 3F2 has to be in World 8, otherwise this run won't count. Not seriously, but anyway, 3F1 pretty standard, not going to go for a door 3 skip or anything, should be pretty easy right off the bat.
Yeah, and it looks like Wake is actually caught up pretty well. He's just basically 1 level behind now.
And definitely this early on in a run, we do have a lot of equalizers. We like to throw that word around, being in the randomizer, because there's a lot of things that could possibly happen to both of these runners. Door 3 skip would have been a bit of a time save, but kind of high risk, low reward. Not really something that a lot of people go after. It really feels just better than anything, but we still have World 7, we still have World 8, and there's a lot of choices that could go wrong in either of those worlds. So being a level behind, nothing to be worried about right now.
Absolutely not, but unfortunately I'm not sure if Wake was interested, but he ends up having to play the end card game anyway, which slightly slow him down. Oh, when we see another hammer on TrueHyperMario's side, that could come in handy later.
Absolutely, and I think we're actually running out of a little bit of places to do it. 4 is actually one place that you can, and it looks like he will. So a hammer does come out, but leads him straight into 5-3, so it's going to take just a little bit longer.
Definitely. 5-3 isn't really a hard level, but it's pretty lengthy. Well, and only really gets difficult if you get that nasty 7-9 enemy set, or 7-8 enemy set, excuse me.
And interestingly enough, I was kind of curious about TrueHyper's decision there to skip a level. It happened to be 7-5, so twice TrueHyper has used a hammer almost on reflex. The first time to skip Atlantis. The second time to skip 7-5. Talk about a heads-up play there. That is very impressive.
Absolutely, and I would not want to be in 7-5 right now with that boss bass.
No, absolutely not. The biggest choice with those is you have to keep him in a place where he's not going to be that much of a problem. So if you let him spawn back on the bottom, just make sure you don't do much more on the bottom and, kind of use that to his advantage. But, we'll see. At this point, it's just keep yourself alive, quite honestly.
Ooh, we get our first hand stage. We'll see what item is going to be available in all 3 hand stages. And it is a fire flower, not too terrible. Could be worse.
Actually, a fire flower is one of the better ones for sure in this. You'll see a lot of the runners go after it because it does add a level of attack kind of towards it. You can kind of protect yourself a little bit with that. Another really good one is the tail as well, just to help, kind of have a little bit of a safer run through these levels. Yeah, I think our runners are just excited to see it's not a music box.
Wake is just about done with, and he nearly became a boss bass meal, but he was able to dive around him. Oh, I spoke too soon.
That is highly unfortunate, and that really does just take the whole sails out of you and everything. And I'm glad Wake didn't try to fly over it, because if memory serves correctly, you can actually try to start flying over it. Maybe this is a different level, but you'll get over it. There'll be like a mushroom block or a one-up block or something, and there's actually no way to get through it. So good call trying not to fly over it. And at this point, I mean, the P-Wing is a very valuable tool. If he can just leave Big Boss Bass on the bottom, unfortunately, that's another meal for him. He was going to be able to get through with the P-Wing pretty easily, but unfortunately, that's just not flying for him.
Yeah, that's a good move to come grab another power-up, but it also shows the importance of playing some Hammer Bros early. Just because, he could pick up a hammer, and he could get away from this level.
Absolutely, but I love this resiliency here from Wake911. Just grabbing that fire flower, saying, hey, I've got an option, I've got a choice. Now that Boss Bass has actually gone back up on the top, so Wake will have just a little bit of reprieve on this bottom here, but will need to be careful when he goes back up.
And TrueHyperMario is through World 3. I didn't quite see... Oh, it was a 4-hit Iggy. So he's pretty tough. What's the next world we're going to see? I'm staying with 1. I'll be right eventually.
I couldn't
it's 2.
quite see what that item was from the princess, but it looks like we're going to have a see a fort, play a fort, because at the top there is a lock before you can move on. So the fort is required here pretty immediately. 5-2, one of our favorites.
And TrueHyperMario took a trip into the ragu.
I think one of these days, if I ever see somebody successfully pull off a Jesus clip in 5F2 in a randomizer, I'm just going to straight up sub to their channel or something, because I can't say that I've ever seen it before. But if somebody can pull it off, then I will go to their channel and subscribe immediately. I'm just saying. All right, Wake911, the boss bass is on the top. There is no further issues. Watch out for the last enemy. No, I'm just kidding. There we go. Wake911 finally through.
Yeah, definitely like his resiliency.
And a couple of extra levels or one-ups here really does help. He took just a couple of losses there, and quite honestly, isn't that far behind. He's got a few levels to play, but a perfect World 7, perfect World 8, and you're right back into it. So, don't ever stop. Bowser hasn't fallen yet. The game's not over.
Absolutely agreed. And it's looking like TrueHyperMario is going to make his way through 5-2. Meanwhile, Wake takes an unfortunate death in 5-3.
And that's just such an unfortunate thing to see. 5-3, especially on that lower bottom half of the level, is really daunting. But I do like seeing Wake911 here. We keep talking about all these deaths and things like that, but honestly, he is doing a fantastic job so far. World 3, still only 19 and a half minutes in. You could not make me believe that this was his first tournament if I didn't know that before.
Absolutely not. You can definitely tell that he knows the randomizer. There's some unfortunate deaths, and could be a little bit of nerves being pretty new to the tournament circuit.
Absolutely, but what an incredible way to continue on and fight hard. And maybe this one doesn't quite go your way. Maybe we'll get somebody else to roll the next seed, and hopefully get one that has more 1-1, 1-2, some of those, as opposed to Atlantis 6-5, 7-5, 6-6, all of those. So we'll see.
And speaking of 6-6, looks like TrueHyperMario's just about through.
Happy to see that. I'm sure Boss Bass going to go hungry that time.
Yeah, I think Boss Bass had enough snacks in 7-5.
I do concur with that. And Wake911 now moving on as well. One more level until he gets to play that fortress that we saw from TrueHyper a little bit ago. TrueHyper now just doing his best to continue to extend that lead.
Yep, and he's just finishing up with 4-1. So he'll be moving on shortly.
It looks like the pipe is going to be directly to the castle here, so that is the end of World 2. Let's go ahead and get those guesses into chat. What do you think is next? We still have 1, 5, and 7 to go before 8 at the very end, so what do you got?
Still going with 1.
I think I'm going to have to go with Kirby Fan 9000 here. I think let's go with World 7, get some pipe maze action. And Eternal September.
I did find it interesting that True went for both those Hammer Bros there.
Honestly, it's still early on in the game. I mean, World 4, you're not quite finished halfway yet. So items up to this point, I think, are a very good commodity of something that you'd really like to have. So, I mean, quite frankly, I still like the call. A little bit more items kind of helps you be more well-versed, and I haven't seen a Hammer Brothers suit yet. So Clouds, Hammer Brothers suit, all very good items to have still.
Yeah, that makes sense as well. We did have a very salty Morton.
It does look like Wake is playing just a little bit more cautiously, and I love that. I love that mentality. One of the best things you can do is just stay in the level. And if you can stay in the level, even if it takes 5 seconds longer than ideal, or 10 seconds longer than like the speed gaming strat, whatever the case may be, if you stay in the level just a few seconds longer, it's fine. You don't have to go back, you don't have to redo, you keep your power up. A lot of really good things here, and we just saw that out of Wake911. Great call, played it a little patient on those flamethrowers, didn't try to get ahead of himself, and was able to get through. So very nicely done. On to World 4.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen that the speed strats can get you into slight trouble here and there. but TrueHyperMario is just trudging along still, facing 7F2. Now, do we see 7F1 paired with it today?
Stay tuned and find out for sure. I mean, we have seen all the best levels, so GG's to Macobra for rolling an amazingly fun seed, I think. I mean, we have a list currently of 6 levels that are all fan favorites, I think. Fans, what else do we need? I think we've got a pretty good grouping here so far.
I mean, I could do with having a little bit of 5-9.
Okay, 5-9, 8-1, 8-2. We haven't seen those yet. We'll see if some of those can come around. And currently looking like a pretty scary World 7.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be quite a trolly maze.
And I've seen 2 locks, and I think I saw 2 fortresses. I'm curious if this is the world with 3 fortresses. I don't know that we've seen that yet. That could make World 7 extremely nightmarish, and maybe a chance for Wake to catch up a little bit if he's able to figure out the riddles of the maze very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like he's going to skip that fort for right now and see what the Promised Land's holding.
I think this is definitely... Okay, I've got confirmation from Leslie Pro, who I would absolutely believe. I don't think he's ever lied to me on purpose. So Leslie Pro has confirmed that this is a 3-fort world, and that's going to be interesting. I think this is very much a case of see a fort, play a fort, because I don't want to have to try to go back through that maze.
Yeah, definitely, but it looked like True played the correct fort, and it looks like he's got a free and clear path.
6-6 currently on the side for Wake911. That is so far so good. We'll see if he can get through this little bit of a piranha. Oh, very nice. Excellent swimming, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see a 1-time for 6-6. So far so good.
Yep, he avoids the final boss bass, and he's through.
That is exceptionally done no matter who you are. To get through 6-6 the first time is very big. So very well done on Wake's side. Now we'll see. It looks like True Hyper, you're absolutely right, is on to the castle. He is done with this.
Now we can see if Ludwig has a full symphony or if it's just a 30-second commercial jingle.
Personally, I'm hoping for a 4 earthquake. We'll see what we get.
Uh-oh. Oh, he got through. And it looked like a 3-hitter.
That was close. 3. Oh, there's 5-9. I think that was played accidentally. So we did find 5-9, but I think Wake got just a little excited, thinking that the pipe was still there. Decides to hit it, take an early exit, and will be jumping through. So just about a world difference between the 2 runners. Still a pretty close race all in all.
Yeah, absolutely. And World 8 could still do some damage. So Wake isn't quite out of it yet.
Looks like we're going to have at least 2 fortresses, 1 required for sure, if nothing else, just to get to the other one. But kind of an interesting World 1. At least 1 fortress will be played, maybe 2, and then, of course, where 1-5 and 1-6 are, we'll have a couple of others. So, no big deal there.
Nope. We'll find out right now. We need 2 forts. And we do.
I'm glad to see that. More forts is always a good time.
Yeah, longer the levels, the longer the worlds, the better. Though I know I'll regret saying that once I start joining tournaments later on.
The longer worlds do give you a little bit more forgiveness. mainly because you get a chance to kind of play more levels and not have to worry about the strategy quite so much. So if you can kind of get onto a roll, kind of figure out what you're doing, figure out a strategy as you're playing through those levels, really works well for the runner's favors. So, no big deal, but Wake911 at this point having to make a crucial decision of where do I go?
Ooh, and that was not 7F1, so they were not paired together this time. But unfortunately, I don't believe this will build the bridge. It was 7F2.
Yeah, I do concur. 8F1, unfortunately not required, but that is okay. I still respect the decision to see if we'll play it for it. That way Wake can maybe get a little bit of reprieve here and have more of a direct path and not have to worry about going back. Unfortunately, we do know exactly where he's supposed to go, and this is not it. So, we'll see it here in just a moment, I'm sure.
I like that he was able to get that star and save some time in there, killing Boom Boom.
Always love an orb, or bro, depending on how you want to call it.
Yeah,
And now on to
wait. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
It looks like Wake has found 7F2, and that is the correct path.
Indeed, and coming in with a small Mario and not even hesitating at the slightest. I love the nerves of steel in this guy.
Absolutely, very fun runner to watch. Meanwhile, TrueHyperMario is making his way through non-auto scroller 7-4.
Yeah, this is one that we're very thankful the auto-scroller is off on because it makes it a lot more nightmarish with the auto-scroller turned off. Not quite as difficult.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if they turn the auto-scroller back on for just that level, but...
It could be interesting for sure, having all auto-scrollers run. That could be very interesting. Make these randomizers a lot longer, I'm sure. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should have the auto-scroll levels become a randomized feature.
That is definitely interesting.
Looks like True Hyper is going to go ahead and take a P-Speed strat. We'll see. Looks like it went very well for him. Take a star for just a little bit of added assistance here in his fight with Larry, and that's just going to be the end of it here in just a moment.
I think it was a 3-hitter, or he got the fire kill, one of the two. It looks like World 5 will end us out on this seed.
And there we go. Wake911 finally able to get through to 6-1, and we'll be taking on Ludwig here in just a moment. I gotta go with. Now I'm gonna butcher your name. I can 100% apologize or promise that, and I will apologize. But Madelsberger has a very interesting idea. I was meaning just randomize the auto-scrolled levels as to whether or not the auto-scroll is turned back on. But a random auto-scrolling for levels that aren't vanilla auto-scrollers, I feel like is extremely devious, and I'm not sure how much we would break the game doing that. But that could be very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I know it can be done in SMW Randomizer, but depends on how SMB3 could handle that.
I'm also very curious if it's possible to speed up or slow down the auto-scroller. That could be interesting as well.
Oh, can you just imagine a very, very sped up Air Force?
Ew. Maybe not. Maybe we should stop this before somebody gets an idea. Or maybe even worse, an ultra-slow Air Force.
Ooh, sped up Atlantis. That sounds devious too.
Absolutely. But I don't know. We'll have to see a sped up Atlantis or even a slowed down Atlantis. Trying to maintain like where you are the entire time just seems disgusting.
Ooh, TrueHyperMario got the 1/4 clip first try. Very nice.
Always fun to see those clips. It looked like he had thought about flying up, and actually could have. He's at the end of World 5's castle here, but decided not to. Just went for the clip instead, and very well played for sure.
Alright, Mayo, I think you've taken it too far. That airship is already bad as it is.
Oh, just expecting World 7 to be even slower. That would be worse.
Oh, it looks like True's found one of our beta stages. And he's through. Meanwhile, Wake is taking on super tanks.
Looks like Flim Springfield is feeling bad for our runners at this point and wants to turn off Boss Bass from 7.5. Actually, the one that's even worse than Boss Bass in 7.5 would be either Angry Sun has some difficulty. I don't know that I would say it's worse, but a regular Cheat Cheat in 7.5 makes it a lot harder because it doesn't matter if you leave it on the bottom or the top, it will find you.
Alright everyone, we're at our final airship, so get your guesses in for how many bridges in the room to Bowser's Castle. 0 through 4. I'll go with the standard 2.
I think if you're going to go 2, I'm going to go with something a little more uncommon and go with 3. I think this has been such an interesting seat so far. Let's go out with a bang. I might have to test that out, Dust Minion. I thought if you killed the Cheep Cheep on the top floor, it would come back to the bottom floor, but I might have to go back and test that now because that would be interesting to see for sure.
And it looks like TrueHyperMario is going to play Fort right off the bat.
Yeah, 7F1, not a terrible one if you don't have a wing. You do have to go try to find one, but he'll get a Tanuki pretty quick and we'll be able to finish this level off in just a moment.
Meanwhile, Wake is just about through World 6. Probably just over a world behind right now.
Fort Knox. I had forgotten that's what we call it, or as Mayo Rabbit called it, Monet. Wake is definitely working hard to get caught back up here. 7-4 now up for Wake, and just really trudging along well. I love this mentality.
We have at least one lock in World 8, so unfortunately the unicorn that is 4 bridges is out. And now he's taking on 6F2, and he has the perfect item to do it with.
Absolutely, that perfect 250 or 256 frames, whatever it is, from the start of P-Wing to the end of P-Wing, pretty well fits perfectly there. And I'm sure True Hyper extremely happy for that Tanuki suit, as he was able to take the speed strat all the way through, and that will result in a very quick boom boom takedown, and now he is moving on. Alright, True Hyper having to make a decision here. He saw nothing happen on that initial... Okay, it looked like there was nothing on the dark room, and that's because it did come out here to the handbridge stage, and now the Air Force. So we will get a bit of a French vanilla, I think they call it, where it's not exactly in the right place in the world, but it is very close this time. So instead of being after the handbridge, it is on the handbridge, and no big deal there. But this is very interesting. We haven't really seen a whole lot of locks or anything. We've got a couple of icons on the dark room, so still the potential for having a 2 or 3, I think, bridges to Bowser. So we'll see who gets it right here in a moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've seen any on the dark room yet. Although I have now seen a hand. And it looks like True may just play through it. 4-3 is a well, nope. I lied.
It looked like he just wanted to go out in glorious fashion. Also, I think it's a good possibility that he probably thought, wait, I don't have to play this level. Hold on.
Yeah, that is true. And it looks like now he's found one of the beta stages, World 5 beta.
Really good decision to go ahead and use an item there. If you've got them, you might as well use them. You're on World 8. They're not going to the second race, so you might as well get them out of the way now.
Yep. No rollover power-ups. And no clouds, I don't believe, this seed either.
Interestingly, well, I think there was one cloud in one of the princess stages, or the princess letters. But interestingly, in the original game, I found this out a couple months back, and I was just reminded of it. So if you played through SMB3, you beat the game and everything, take down Bowser, you get the princess, blah, 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 and then you immediately start the game over. This was a lot harder back in the days of NES because you didn't have save states. But if you started the game back over, your entire inventory would be full of P-Wings. But we are not doing that this time. It's going to be a separate game, and there will be no P-Wings for our runners the second time. But hey, if you ever decide to play again, just play it, beat it, and then go back through with a bunch of P-Wings.
Oh yeah, I think I recall that from an issue in Nintendo Power back in the day.
And just like that, we have 3F2, so this is a valid seed. These results will be taken into account as they do have 3F2 in World 8, so we are good to go here, folks.
Looks like Wake is gonna make his way up into the sky and find out it's a pretty quick World 7. So he won't be too terribly far behind. Ooh, except he almost got Boss Bass a nice meal right there.
I find this just a little interesting. Looks like we've got 2 bridges, so if you said 2, congrats, you were absolutely correct. And I know I'm on the commentary side, so I get a little bit of a heads-up play on being able to see kind of how some of these worlds fall apart. For TrueHyper, went ahead and played World 1, then skipped on and went and played the second level as we just saw from Wake911. But if Wake had went ahead and played the Fortress, he could have got that extra item. We don't know what it is. Could have been a Hammer Brothers suit. Could have been a lot of things, but obviously now we won't know unless we go back and play it again. But instead of playing the Fortress, he decided to go ahead and skip it. Now I find this interesting because we've already seen 7F2, 8F1, we've already seen a few of those, but he decides to go ahead and skip the Fortress, which I find interesting. And with that tail, he goes to the left-hand side, goes ahead and plays that beta level, and with the tail, so long as you can keep yourself safe from that boss bash, just jumping over it, you can get all the way to the end, break 2 blocks on the top, go down into a pipe, and you're at the end of the level there. So, I don't know, I think it's a little interesting. Obviously, it didn't matter too much as Wake911's already into the fight with Roy there, but just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, TrueHyperMario got the mac and cheese clip, and he is just about done with Bowser. So we should have him finished within just a couple seconds. And get your GGs out for TrueHyperMario, everyone.
GG's indeed. A very tricky, crazy seed, I think. I don't know how we're going to beat that. But Macobro, you rolled a doozy, and well played indeed. And well played to Wake911 as well. I mean, being in World 8 before TrueHyperMario was finished on such a doozy of a seed, hats off. absolutely hats off to Wake for putting on just an extraordinary run. I mean, I can't wait to see what happens next. There's still a chance for spoiler here. I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere.
Absolutely. And Wake is not giving up.
No, and you love to see it. You absolutely do. I mean, I can't wait to see what happens next. I think statistically it's not possible for Wake to make it into the bracket stages, but we also have a Challenge Cup that will feature the runners who didn't make it into the brackets, and that's always a great time as well. All of these guys in this community put on just such a, and I say guys just across the board, but everyone in the community does a fantastic job. We've got some incredible people in there who do incredible things, and it's always just a great time to be a part of it. So if this seems like something you're interested in, join the community, get involved, even if it's commentating or helping assist with running, setting things up. You know, we're always thankful for the new volunteers we have coming in, as well as the Speed Gaming volunteers. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, absolutely, and it wouldn't be possible without all of you in chat as well, so give yourselves a hand. And it looks like TrueHyperMario is going to finish with an official time of 43:08. I'm sorry, 43:11.
Leslie Pro was in the finals of last year's Challenge Cup, and that's a good example of what I mean by the talent and just the incredible nature of this entire community. Leslie Pro is an extremely good runner, and to be in the Challenge Cup at that caliber just really speaks to the level of play that we see here. So absolutely incredible for sure. But in answer to Thomas's question, first of all, I have absolutely no idea why it's mac and cheese. It has always been that, therefore it will always be that. And then 3F2 is not actually required. We just like to joke about it because it does seem to be there a lot, as Maya Rabbit said. So there you go.
Now, for those newer to the community, is the Challenge Cup strictly for those who didn't make it to the brackets? Or is that for anyone to join as well?
I honestly don't know. I'm pretty sure the Challenge Cup will just be for the runners who didn't make it to the brackets, because actually the way it's set up is it'll be like a double elimination almost, I believe. That way when somebody does fall from the brackets, I could be getting my tournaments mixed up, but I believe that once they do fall from the brackets, they actually can go into the Challenge Cup part and continue to play. So a lot of really good talent could still be there as well.
Alright, looks like Wake is making his way through tanks. So he should hopefully be finishing up shortly here. Like to see him get a sub 50.
TrueHyperMario now on the side of Wake911, so his run will count as well as being valid. And once we do get done with this run, I would like to remind you all that there is a second race. This isn't a best of 3. It is 2 races, as this is the double round robin that we are doing. Basically, every group has 4 individuals. This group has TrueHyperMario and Wake911, as you can see there. And then it also has DLP316, who has already clinched a spot in the brackets with a 5-1 record. Nobody else statistically can be at quite as high, but they are still playing for some group stages or some wild cards. So even if you're not quite through it, you don't win, you don't go to brackets, there is still an option for a wild card based on the best records, and then in cases of ties, we'll be looking at the average time as well. So even if you don't make the brackets just statistically based on your numbers, there is still a chance to go to that higher seeded bracket. And TrueHyperMario still has that option. So currently at a 3-2, One more win would push him into a 4-2, and that would make him the second place out of this group, and could still then, of course, go to the brackets as well.
And unfortunately, Wake still had another bridge to build, so looks like Air Force will be the one to build that bridge, and he can go back and finish off Bowser.
And Bowser likes to make fools out of all of us, so if it does take a time or two, no big deal. We've got this, but honestly, the way Wake has been playing, I think it's going to be a one-shot call here, and oh, okay, looks like Wake is still trying to figure out what the last fortress was. There we go. He's found it. He's on his way. The battle kit is good to go. The star, the Hammer Brothers suit, he's geared up, dressed for success, and Bowser will be falling here soon. I sure hope so. Let's get some clips in here. Let's get some excitement in here for Wake911, who put on really a stellar performance. I gotta admit, this is extremely stellar from a first-timer in this tournament. So GG's for sure.
Oh, absolutely, and I think he'll do even better in the second match here. I do think, though, Human Mustard is disappointed. No frog suit usage in this seed.
It looks like there we go. Hammer Brother does come out. Hammers come flying out. Bowser goes flying down, and that is going to be the end of it for Wake911. We'll get that official time in just one moment. And also, we will take just a quick break to get our runners set back up here in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Alright, and we do have it. Official time, 50:44. Get your GGs out, and as Growlwolf said, we will be taking a break here. So get to the restroom, get a snack, a beverage of your choice, and we will be back shortly.
And before you go anywhere, put your GGs in chat, because that was an outstanding race, and you know it. All right, the seed has just been rolled. It starts with a 1. I know there's at least one runner that believes that's good luck, so we'll see if that stands to reason here. While we are in between games, we would like to remind you all as well that SpeedGaming puts on a lot of really outstanding events. So if you're not already following them, SpeedGaming and then SpeedGaming 2 through 6, whatever you got to do, go find them if you need to search for them, or just plug it into your URL. Whatever the case may be, go find them, go follow them, give them subscriptions. If you got Amazon Prime, there's a free subscription that comes with that. Make sure it's put to good use. I'm not going to tell you that you have to do it for SpeedGaming, but hey, you should do it for SpeedGaming. I'm just saying. But anyway, I'm not sponsored, by the way. I love the things that they do. They've got a great volunteer base. There's always somebody around to help. There's always somebody there to help with the tournaments. So that's my little blurb. If you're not already following everybody or all the SpeedGaming channels, do it. They put on a lot of really great content. SMB3 Randomizer, the entire tournament will be on the SpeedGaming channel. So make sure you're following that. Make sure you're bookmarking all the different things that we've got for the SMB3 Randomizer. You're not going to want to miss any of the tournaments, any of the matches, because they're all going to be very exciting and full of great excitement for sure. So be there, be a part, make sure that you're watching, and make sure you're a part of SpeedGaming as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're enjoying what you're seeing here, we do have another matchup coming up later tonight as well between Vix Rider and Adam Ferrari. That'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, so tune into that later as well. Get another great match, and we will see you again shortly.
Absolutely, and that one will be over on Speed Gaming 3, so make sure that you're over there as well. Other things that they do, it's not just SMB3 Randomizer. They also do a Link to the Past Randomizer. They do Minish Cap Randomizer. If you're a Legend of Zelda fan, definitely check those out. Z1R is a really cool thing. It's got some Metroid Prime. It's got a Link to the Past as well. You definitely need to check them out. Even if it's not something you're interested in, even the nostalgia itself is it's worth it. Believe me, it's worth it. Go find for yourself. And with that, I think we're going to be getting started here in just a moment. As we do get our runners ready to go, and as they're getting all readied up, I would like to remind you, if you're just tuning in, the bracket or the stages that we are going to be doing the flag set that we're going to be doing is once again the tournament seed. Basically, everything's randomized, as you just saw. The auto scrollers are going to be turned off except for 5-9 in Atlantis. And Human Mustard, if you had asked just 3 minutes ago, we probably could have made that happen. But either way, we got hammers will not break locks, only rocks. And other than that, we've got the in-guard game. So sit tight. We'll be getting started here in just one moment.
Right. So as we're getting ready to go into this, Growlwolf, what do you want to see out of this next seed? Do you want to see the runners have a nice, easy seed, or do you want to see something a little more devious?
I think for Wake's sake, I want to go with something maybe a little bit easier, maybe more 50-50 chances. I love when I see 50-50 chances because to me that's the entire essence of a randomizer run. So maybe let's get some 50-50s in there that could go one of two ways. You got to make a decision, maybe two fortresses, and one of them will be correct. The other makes you go around a different way. That's kind of my call. Maybe a little bit more of a jet seed. If you get those 50-50s right, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And me, I'm a little more sadistic. I'd like to see the combo of 5-9 into 7F1 into Atlantis.
Okay. All right. No problems here. A little bit of a 7-1 start could be interesting because then you obviously cannot clip without a mushroom to start. So 7-1 start, that could be very interesting.
And everyone get your guesses in chat for what the first world's going to be. I'm going to be pulling, as always, for that reverse world order starting World 7.
Well, then I got to go backwards and I'll say Vanilla World Order, and I will not get it, but 3 it is.
3 with super tanks to start out. Ooh, nice jump off the cannonball, and TrueHyperMario is going to skip a bunch by going up top.
Absolutely. Keeping himself safe right out the gate is a great move. Wake911 hot on his tail, both in the fight with Boom Boom, and we are off and running on the races. And I just found out I am not cool because I have never clipped 7-1 without at least a mushroom. So at some point, I might have to take some notes from Human Mustard because he obviously knows something I don't know. So, but that's okay. I'll get over it.
Now, I do see that there's a pipe blocked there by a log, so I have a feeling that's our ticket to Windy.
Sure looks like it. And how fitting is it that we have the Navy in World 3, the water level? So, yay, kind of fits.
Yeah, absolutely, and I do believe our first seed also started with World 3.
I believe you're right. Ladies first, I guess. Wendy had to be first both times, and not a problem there for sure. And it looks like that is, in fact, the pipe getting broken there. So, oh, this is nasty.
Fire bros with water, I don't like seeing that.
I'm sure our runners do not either, but thankfully that Hammer Bro will move, and, well, the Fire Bros will move, and that will open up the way for both True Hyper and Wake as they find the Fred airship.
Well, out of World 1, our runners seem to be pretty close. Both took one death to that Fire Bro mess. And, well, looks like Windy had the side salad this time, 2-hitter.
I was just reading through the chat and had to stop to laugh because all I saw was, that is disgusting. I love it.
Alright, get your guesses in for the next world.
I think I'm going to go with 5 this time. We saw it at the end last time. Maybe we'll get it up front this one.
I'm gonna say 2, a little bit backwards. And 5 it is.
Heyo! And once again, we are met with 6-6. So if you do enjoy a run with just a little bit of some shade in it, you've currently got that. We'll see if it continues here for our runners.
This is one of the toughest levels. Even Fire Flower still can get you in trouble, as we've seen with TrueHyperMario.
Absolutely. Fire Flower is one of the best ways to go into this level. Stars up there as well.
Oh no, and TrueHyperMario takes a death. Let's see if Wake's slow and steady approach will get him through.
So far, so good. I mean, that mushroom is going to be held on for dear life, I'm sure. Got to watch out for that cheap. But Small Mario, not a problem here. If he can just keep himself safe, keep moving, just keep swimming, and you'll be okay.
Oh! Oh, I thought he had it, and then he didn't have it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I thought for sure he was able to get through there, and it's just one more swim input. I think he might have been able to get out of there. He was like right in between those fireballs, and if he could have just a little bit more, he would have had it. But that's okay. That's okay. One time, no big deal. 6-6, you're back into it. Let's go.
Oof. Unfortunately, that cheap stole his power up right at the beginning. And True is almost through this, and we'll see if he gets trolled or not. Nope. He will get through. But unfortunately, Wake took another death.
I think if you mess up one more time here, you probably want to start thinking about taking an intentional GO. That way you can kind of reset, reconfigure, get ready to go. Because honestly, I mean, 6-6 is not one to be trifled with, and you have no idea what's up next. In this case, it's 7F1. Not really a terrible level, just going to be a lot longer if you don't come out of 6-6 with a power-up. But you got to get through 6-6 here.
Yeah, I agree. I think you should take that intentional game over right now and just start with a fresh set of lives.
I think that's a really good call here. I mean, with 5 extra lives, you can do a lot more. Looks like he might have thought about it for just a moment, maybe not. Looks like he will go up top, though, to get a mushroom. And if he can possibly get that other power up there, that is the fire flower, maybe that'll be enough for him.
Yeah, but I haven't seen him go for that power-up once, so I'm wondering if he doesn't know it's there.
You know, that's one of the things about SMB3 that continues to astound is the fact that there are so many hidden blocks and items and chances and routes and things like that that you can take. And if you don't know all the ins and outs of this game, you actually could be behind a little bit. So, you know, that's just one of the things. The more you watch, the more you play, the more you learn. It really does become a huge help there. So, Wake911, take 2 on the piranhas. We'll see if he gets it this time. All right, a little patient there. I like it. Waited for the parachute. Oh, ew.
I disagree with that hitbox.
I disagree as well. That was not nice. That paratrooper was flying back, and instead of getting stuck in the wall, it clipped him out and into Mario, unfortunately for Wake911. But, you know, a new set of lives, a new chance, a new opportunity here. We know Wake can get through 6-6. We've seen it already. It's go time.
Yeah, I was hoping he was gonna grab that first Koopa and use it as a shield, but just very unfortunate.
Very nice swag shot there. He was able to swim under the blooper as it was just going over him. So very nicely done there. Let's see if he can get through it this time. Just be careful. Meanwhile, TrueHyper finding that this is a long World 5 and will now be taking his first look at the sky.
Looks like he's gonna grab himself a nice frog suit. So, get that mushroom in disguise, that could be very helpful for True.
Absolutely, and it's actually a little unfortunate Wake doesn't have a frog suit. Here, it wouldn't be the worst power-up to have.
Not at all. A little range of motion and extra hit to take as well.
Absolutely, and yeah, there's so few levels that you can actually utilize the frog suit well in. I know some people are going to disagree with me on that one, but I will stand by that. But, you know, this is one that could absolutely be very useful for Wake with the frog suit. But, you know, it is what it is, and now we'll see if he can get through it. I think he's got it this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And True going through 7-7 took a death, and then he went for the clip small for a couple tries, and now he's just going to run through the level again. Oh, and Wake is through.
You love to see it. Commentator's curse, forget about it. We got a commentator's blessing this time. Let's go! (7F1) now on the side for Wake911. This is the Money Fort, or Fort Knox, or 7F1, whatever you want to call it. Bowser's private stash. I mean, whatever you want, man.
Yeah, we're not too particular here.
Ew.
Unfortunate death for TrueHyperMario there on the Hammer Bro.
I don't agree with that hitbox either. It looked like he was on top, but I guess the hammer must have been just too close.
And I do believe chat agrees about that hitbox as well.
If I just made a Pink Floyd reference, I don't think it was on purpose. Maybe subconsciously.
Yeah, I'm not a big Pink Floyd fan, so I may not have even caught that.
I'll let Human Mustard fill us in on that one, but Scrooge McDuck's Vault. Here on out, that is what I will be calling it, because I like that a lot better. That's great. So Roy is being a bit of a problem. True Hyper expecting to take a hit there, doesn't get it, ends up taking a little bit of a damage loss, but one more shot will do it, as he is now out of World 2 into World 3. Get your guesses in. 3, 5 so far. What's next? I'm going odds. We'll go 7 next.
We'll stick with 2. So to go back onto the Scrooge McDuck comment, I think we would, since this is Super Mario 3 and all, we have to call it Scrooge McKoopa.
I just got a really interesting mental picture there. I don't know about that one. Nah, alrighty. We have World 6 coming up next, and very fittingly, we've got TrueHyperMario in a white Mario suit. Very festive. I like it.
Yeah, and he's going through 610, so bit of a French vanilla.
Indeed, and did so very nicely. That star can sometimes be a little weird as you're spinning through the air. The jumps are a little bit different, but of course, a veteran of the game, not a problem for True Hyper. And looks like one more time he's going to go after a mushroom house. So add a little bit of an added protection there. And a Hammer Brothers suit, number 2.
And now we find World 1 Fort, which we know is not required. And now with a tail, True Hyper Mario can go grab a power-up if he so chooses.
You're absolutely right. And we've just got our first 50-50. Oh, nice clip from True Hyper.
Swag star clip there.
So I think this is very interesting, and I love the idea for True Hyper to go ahead and go after the fight with Boom Boom, because even though you're absolutely correct, the World 1 Fortress cannot be route required. It cannot be route critical, but it could be route annoying. In that if you have the lock in a place that would require a player to play 3 more levels to go around it, theoretically you can still get by it without needing that lock. But of course, if you do break the lock, then you don't have to play those levels. World 6, Boom Boom's not very tough. There's a lot of places where that lock could be. I like the decision to go ahead and just play it.
For sure. We have 7-6 here, I believe, and True Hyper Mario went for the clip, but because of the tail, he didn't go for it, and just decided to take the death.
Really don't hate that play here. It looks like a good choice for True Hyper Mario, as he's going to go ahead and take a P-Wing, and that is going to be the end of 7-6. Forget about the clip. We're not even worried about that.
Just fly over, have it over with. Not a bad play whatsoever. So, True does need to be very careful here because he is at 0 lives.
And there is a 1-up. He gets it. Very nice. That will be helpful, I'm sure. Breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief.
Yeah, that's a very timely 1-up right there.
And it makes sense. I missed this initially, but it is a Hammer Brothers suit in the Princess's letter, so even if Wake doesn't go after that Toadstool, we will not have an item discrepancy between the 2 runners when it comes down to Bowser. We'll see if it matters. I hope it does.
And True Hyper Mario has now made his way into 3F1. I'm sure we won't be seeing door 3 here. Oh, we are, and what gets it? Swag.
Man, we gotta work on this commentator curse stuff. This stuff is going way too well for these guys. Either way, beautiful door 3 skip from True Hyper. Very well played. Now let's see if we can get a 7-6 clip on the side of Wake911 here.
And don't look now, but it looks like Wake has caught up a little bit.
Yeah, and definitely without having to use all those extra items and such, that's going to be very helpful, I think. Okay, got a couple forts on the screen, and right now Wake is trying to figure out what he wants to do here we've got at least a 10 panel there. We do have 2 fortresses, so I don't know. This could be interesting. He's got the hammer. We'll see if he uses it to skip the level. Ooh, now we've got a quick draw.
I was gonna say, it might be worth hitting the, using the hammer here. You don't really have too many options left for it, since World 3 is already out of the way.
Absolutely agree, 100%. World 3 is out of the way. World 4 is extremely wombo as to whether or not you will have a chance to use it or if it's even necessary. I mean, last one we did, that doesn't happen all that often. Door 6 this time for Wake911. He's not going to go after the Door 3, but you know, where else could we possibly see it? Maybe Door or World 2?
Yeah, I believe World 4 and World 2 are the only spots remaining. But it doesn't look like Wake's going to use it. Who knows, maybe it comes in handy in one of those 2 worlds.
Absolutely. I mean, it very well could, and I kind of hope it does. I mean, World 2, a big skip there if you don't get another hammer could be very valuable. So, you know, it looks like the way is open for True Hyper, and Wake911 is not going to be too far behind.
Yeah, Wake does have a bit of a scary 6-5 here. Fire Chomps and Fire Snakes, but looks like he's got through. He was able to dodge that Fire Snake.
And using the tail as an attacker was able to get him through that paratroopa without any further damage. So very nicely done from Wake to get out of there and should be catching up in moments. Get your guesses in. What's the next world? I think I gotta go with 4 next. Let's go ahead and see if 4 comes up.
I'm gonna stay with, no, I'm gonna go to 1 and hope it's a 3 fort.
Okay, looks like this is going to be interesting. World 2 with a pipe on the left and can't see it. Pipe on the right. What a free world. Angelic Jade, that unfortunately is not going to be a long world for you. We'll see if the next one is.
And I think this was the only fort.
Yeah, that's correct. It's only a bunch of levels on the left-hand side, so very easy World 2 for our runners. True Hyper is going to take the underground path here.
Yeah, I don't mind that decision at all. It's a little safer.
And the Fire Flower definitely will help on this. 5 shots, takes out Boom Boom, and gets you onto the castle. So Morton will be coming up in just a moment. Wake911 doing his best to keep catching up as quickly as possible here.
Yeah, he took an unfortunate death in that last level, but he's through. And we'll have to see if the hammer will be useful for him in World 4.
Okay, so World 1 was not World 1's fortress was not really that big of a deal. It was only 1 level difference, and it actually wound up being a hand level with a Peewee. So I think that's a bit of a good call from Wake. Didn't play that extra level. Now he's on to the fight with Lemmy in just a moment as well. He's playing this very well so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like maybe some of the nerves have worn off, and he did have some issues with 6-6, but he's not that far behind.
No, honestly not. I mean, with only 1 fortress required in World 2, possibly a Hammer Brothers stage, I mean, he's going to be catching up here very quickly. So 2 stages at best behind. And given the fact that we're only in World 3 at this point, we still got a lot going on next. So, or World 4, I guess. So World 7, we'll see if this becomes a factor.
TrueHyperMario just picked up a hammer from that princess letter, so that could be helpful for him if it's required in World. Oh, but he is taking the fall of shame in 5-2.
I need to get a bell or something, start ringing it. Shame, shame. Looks like True Hyper will have to take the bottom route. Not a very friendly path at all. There's a lot of things that try to get you here. Definitely a lot quicker and a lot easier if you're able to make it through the top. But True Hyper don't care. He's blowing through the level like it's nothing, and now he's on his way.
Yeah, not too bad. And we'll see how bad this pipe maze is. The other one was a bit tricky, but this one looks maybe a little more straightforward.
Wake opting to go ahead and take a Fire Flower. We'll see if he proceeds to keep it through the top path. Looks like he won't be taking any speed strats here, but will be doing his best to keep the Fire Flower. Oh, unfortunately does not.
There's that commentator's curse.
Yeah, my bad. Either way, a tail, though, will take him into Boom Boom. Unfortunately, that does not help any further. Tail whacks don't do anything to Boom Boom. So 3 jumps on the head it is. And now, okay, looks like we're going to get an end card possibly here in a moment, if that is a required pipe. Eight's Fortress on the side for True Hyper, so Fire Flower will be the token of choice as he's going to be getting started here. Wake911 now into World 6's airship, and we'll be seeing if he can get through here as quickly as we just saw True Hyper. Looks like that is a quick fight from Wake911. Unfortunately, not able to complete the 1 cycle for True Hyper in World 8 Fort, which is apparently the best fort, according to Angelic Jade, and I have no reason to argue. So TrueHyperMario now with a swag clip to get into the fight with Boom Boom and a Fire Flower to boot. So 5 shots and down he goes, and that is it. So what's the next world?
Staying with World 1.
I think we've got World 1 and World 4 yet to go, so should be interesting indeed to see what comes up next. I'm going to go with World 4 this time.
Alright. True Hyper puts that piranha plant to sleep, and it leads him right to the end of the world. So we'll be seeing what Ludwig has to offer this time.
Very nice P-Speed strat from True Hyper, not something you can see in the vanilla game. But we turned off auto-scrollers because nobody's got time for that. And Ludwig, being a bit of a pain, looks like the fire kill will be enough to take him out. I am curious how many shots that was, though. It seemed like it was starting to get up there.
Yeah, I think it was at least 3. That's always scary when Ludwig has his Air Jordans on.
Absolutely. The Air Jordans get super scary. There are some factors in place so he doesn't jump out of the stage, thankfully, because that did happen in the early days, and you were basically soft-locked into a fight with Ludwig that you had to wait for time to expire. So that got fixed really quick, and we're definitely grateful for that. But Ludwig, no big deal, and World 1 now up for play.
Yeah, it's a bit longer one, though, because there are 2 levels in front of the fort.
I personally love to see it. I like a long World 1. I think it's funny when we get 4 or 5 levels that are required.
Yeah, I have no complaints. Wake is just about done with 8 fort. And he's going to get a full set of power-ups. And go for a 3rd cycle. Not a terrible play.
No, it's really not, especially if you're not comfortable with the idea of trying to go after that double power-up and then try to make it to the door. You play a little bit safer. Hey, no big deal.
TrueHyperMario is blazing his way through 4-3 right now.
I think we're really starting to see the veteran come out. I mean, both players running really well. Wake911 just a few levels back, still in World 5. True Hyper now putting on a clinic in World 6, which happens to be Vanilla World 1. But it's going to be tough for Wake to catch up here. I think he's going to have to really get a couple of 50-50s right in order to have a shot here, because True Hyper is really on the gas now.
Yeah, definitely. I think he would have been fine if it wasn't for the unfortunate 6-6, but either way, he's still playing fantastic.
Absolutely. What an incredible showing from both of our runners, just to really show off the caliber. I mean, to get as many complicated and difficult levels as they've gotten so far. It's incredible.
Unfortunately, Wake missed his jump in the Air Force, so he's gonna have to come back and try it again.
Indeed. And Air Force, either on auto-scroller or as you see it here, is not forgiving. There is a lot that can possibly go wrong here, and unfortunately we did see that for Wake. Meanwhile, True Hyper did go to a Toadstool house, found another Hammer Brothers suit. I'd be surprised if he doesn't start using those here pretty soon, and then was able to go through the end card and got a couple of matches. So we'll see if those are anything interesting that we should be aware of.
It does look like we have a Boss Bass hang out in 8-2, and that's always scary, but True Hyper was able to make it through.
Absolutely, and Leslie Pro has a very good call out in the chat. Eaton jump input is likely a death in Air Force, and absolutely correct. I mean, if the controller of the game eats up any of your inputs, then you will most likely take a tumble in Air Force, which is obviously nobody's favorite. But we do have to remember occasionally that this game is over 30 years old, and for it to hold up as well as it has really speaks to really just the entirety of it. But, you know, sometimes those things happen. It is an older game, and older things things do happen in older games.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially when you start doing things in randomizers, you never know what kind of little glitches or bumps can happen, but I have to shout out the creator of this randomizer as well, Fred Coughlin, who's done an amazing job on it. And it's really a great randomizer for the community.
Absolutely, yeah, we really do appreciate all the work that goes into it. I know Macobra has also done a lot of work as well, and there's countless others that throw a lot of time and energy and effort into this game, and it's incredible seeing what they can do with the limited space. Very, very fantastic. The whole community is just huge shout out to them for sure.
True Hyper got hitboxed there by Larry, but no problems. Finishes it off. 3-hitter, I believe.
We've got some shade currently in the chat. We've got disagreement between either randomized music or not randomized music. I think we almost need a poll for that, see who prefers randomized music versus unrandomized music.
I'll be team randomized music.
I like the randomized music as well. You're going to play a randomizer? Randomize everything, except for my color. I don't like my color randomized, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Give me red Mario every time, and give me the same color palettes.
Fair enough. I tend to go gray, but I don't know why. Anyway, so TrueHyperMario got 6F2, and Wake911 currently in 1-2, and that will not break the lock or build a bridge. So it looks like we do have a 3-4 World 4. Waited till the very end this time to finally come out, and I think that's going to make this a really long World 4. So Angelic Jade, wherever you went, we've got another one.
Oh man, Mustard throwing shade at me now for not agreeing with them. It's gonna take all my Goomba points away. looks like TrueHyperMario takes a hit there, but he will make it through. Meanwhile, Wake is making his way through 4-3.
We've got another one. Purple Mario is best Mario. Wow. Regardless, we've got True Hyper, who is now trying to figure this out. It looks like he's going to play Fort 2 from World 2's Fortress. There we go. And no problem here for the veteran runner.
Yeah, True Hyper used that hammer and then decided to go for the fort there. Doesn't make any difference, really, since we're going to World 8 after this, and locks are not broken by hammers in these flag sets.
Absolutely. So those hammers not going to be a huge factor at this point, and I kind of like it. It's a little bit different. We've actually switched it up this year, so instead of the hammers breaking locks this time, I believe that's going to be an option that our runners can choose in the brackets. So as they go into the best of 3, they will be able to choose a few different things that maybe should shake this up a little bit for our guys. So I'm excited to see that. I like the idea of randomizing more of the randomizer because it does get extremely convoluted at times. So personally, I like to see it.
Yeah, I agree. I think hammers breaking locks in the brackets could make for some really good routing choices.
Absolutely, for sure. And really, it does come down to the item management then at that point, because it's always a gamble. Do you play a lot of item levels? Do you play a lot of Hammer Brothers? Do you play a lot of things to get those items to come out? Or do you just push your luck and go as hard as you can, as fast as you can? Obviously, fortune favors the bold a lot of the times, and in the randomizer, it tends to hold to that. So if you can find a couple of great items like that cloud, or a hammer, or the Hammer Brothers suit, those items become huge commodities that really do face, like, they really can help you a lot in the rest of the run. Even at World 8, that could be a huge thing.
Yeah, definitely. And Chaos Wanderer says he wishes hammer locks were a mystery. Well, good news is that is a setting.
I like Chaos Wanderer's idea. That hammer locks, we do actually have that occasionally on, like, the weekly races when we have those going on. Obviously, right now with the tournament going on, we don't have that happening. But the hammer locks, either breaking or not breaking, is an option. We do have that, so it could be a maybe. That's something that the developers had put together for us as well. So we love seeing it. I like that idea of, do you know? And if so, can you, like, you have to figure it out real quick.
Interesting to see the Mushroom House taken there by True Hyper at the end of World 7. We'll see if that leaf comes in handy for him in World 8.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't hurt having just one more option there. One more item, probably not a bad thing. He does have all of those Hammer Brothers suits as well. Maybe just going to fill up the inventory, I'm not sure. But never a bad thing to have a few items in the inventory just to be on the safe side.
And as we finish up World 7, get your guesses in chat for how many bridges will be in the Valley of Bowser. I'm gonna go with 0 this time.
I think I'm going to have to stick with 3. I think I'd still like to see something a little bit longer, something a little bit more linear, I think, in World 8.
We do have Dust Minion and Chaos with the -1.
That could be interesting for some of those who are wondering. -1 means you would show up in the second place. Normally, when you show up to Bowser's Valley, you're all the way to the left, and there's the Super Tanks, and then, of course, a few dots later, you're at Bowser's Castle. But with a -1, you would pop up where the Super Tanks normally is, and that bridge would be on your left. So, not a necessary requirement, but obviously you wouldn't have to play it. But would be interesting to see for sure.
right now we are looking at the end of Carpet Fort. We'll see if it breaks that lock, so we are a maximum of 3 bridges so far from what we've seen. Meanwhile, Wake is about a world behind right now, making his way through World 7, the lengthy version of World 4. And, wow, that is a Jet World 8. 1 bridge, 1 fort, done.
And a bottom of the escalator clip, very nice for THM. So True Hyper is going to be putting on a clinic here. We'll see if we get a mac and cheese, make this a valid run. No 3F2 in World 8. Unfortunately, not the first try. We'll try it one more time. All right, one more time. I don't know, maybe, but we'll see. Hey! Finally a mac and cheese for True Hyper. That is a Hammer Brothers suit. Fight with Bowser should be over here just as soon as it gets started. Get your GGs into chat for TrueHyperMario, who, with a 2-0 sweep over Wake911, will be taking the second place in Group F, and we'll be looking forward to seeing him run in the bracket stages here in a couple months once we get that started. So, obviously, the tournament is going to be going through June. Then, of course, there's going to be some other tournaments and stuff going on, and then we will be concluding our tournament shortly thereafter as well. So, a whole summer of fun with SMB3, with all kinds of speed gaming and running and things like that. So definitely make sure you're following and being a part, because there's going to be way more action just like this coming at some point as well.
And we do have TrueHyperMario down as a 37:04, so fantastic time. And we will see if TrueHyperMario would like to join us for a interview.
There was a single bridge, and it was in the way. So GG's for sure for True Hyper. We'll see if he can get him in here. And Wake911 is going to continue to run this, and I love it. Get that experience in. You've got the stage, you've got the platform, and running well. And we know, of course, that there's going to be a bridge, World 8, quick World 8 coming up next. So hopefully Wake can finish this up here in just a moment. All right, looks like we've got a 37:08 as the official time for TrueHyperMario. That is your winner for today on this race, and we will be looking forward to seeing him in brackets as well. And of course, Wake911 is not done either, as Wake will be joining us hopefully in the Challenge Cup. We love to see the runners come back and kind of have a standing ovation, an encore, if you will, for the runners, because I mean, Challenge Cup is also in an incredible time. It really, truly is. And it looks like we do have a forfeit on the side of Wake911, so Wake will not finish this one. And unfortunately, too, because World 8 was actually super quick here. But that is okay. We understand, the race is over. Wake had done such a fantastic job. So kudos to Wake for an outstanding run both times here, and in groups the entire time. Just absolutely extraordinary. Please get your GGs in chat for Wake as well for an extremely stellar run on both games. A lot of hard levels, still persevered. Loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic running by him. And we're now joined by TrueHyperMario. Congratulations on the 2-0 win.
Oh, thanks. Oh my god, that World 8.
Yeah, that was a pretty quick one for you. What'd you think about that?
Well, it's quite hard to explain. I was like in a shock when I decided to enter the right pipe, and then saw the entrance is clear. Only one stage in World 8. I've never seen this kind of seed ever.
An interesting one for sure. On that first seed, I know that was a bit of a nightmare seed, but I found it very interesting. In the first world, you went ahead and utilized the hammer pretty quickly as soon as you got it, or maybe it was the second world, I guess. You used the hammer to go ahead and bypass the level in World 6. That happened to be Atlantis. So good call there for sure. Interestingly enough, as soon as you did that, you went into World 4 next. You used a hammer there as well to break that rock, and you happened to skip 7-5 there with a boss bass. So how you managed to block?
Wow! Wait, what?
Those?
I got super lucky. I think I got super lucky then. Oh my god! I never knew there was actually a 7-5 in that 6-7 spot, or Atlantis, or whatever it was.
Yeah, Atlantis was in World 6 and 7-5 was in World 4, and I couldn't believe it. Both times you skipped, I was like, okay, maybe. Nope, you got it. You're right.
Oh my god. Did Wake skip the 7-5?
No, that's how we knew it was there. Unfortunately, 7-5 was a tough one.
When I finished the first race, I went outside for have a quick smoke, and then I watched the replay. I saw Wake in the 7-5, and it was a nightmare. Ooh.
Yeah, 7-5 was a nightmare for him. 6-6, the first time he blew through it. The second time, 6-6 just was not kind.
That race 2, first level, 6-6. I hate that level.
Yeah, not exactly a very nice one for sure.
Yep. But yeah, I went for some... And by the way, about that 6-5 in race 1. Those micro Goombas are so trolly. If they are up right end of the stage, when you have to gather a P-speed and fly up.
Yeah, that was a problem for you. Twice you got sniped out of the air, and it looked like you kind of said, forget this, I'm going to go play. I think it was 3-3.
But yeah, that's it. First level, 6-6 was a nightmare. That 6-5 in the race 1 got scammed by the micro Goombas. Why?
We are also joined on the air with Wake911. So I got to say GG's on that. You played remarkably well for this being your first tournament.
Hey, I really appreciate that. Good games there. I knew this was a tiebreaker match, and I really wanted to keep it close for at least a few worlds, but man, 6-6 killed me. Again. Ugh.
6-6, I heard something about 7-5 with the boss bass.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate. Getting swallowed right at the end because I rushed it.
But even with that unfortunate 6-6, you still made progress and caught back up. You would have finished up on that second one. It was actually a Jet World 8.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I didn't want to make everybody wait for 10 minutes possibly. So I was like, if I make it a little farther, I'll just give up now.
Either way, you did a fantastic job.
Yeah, when you got stuck in that 7-5, just for your information, one of the Hammer Bros got a hammer.
Yeah, I didn't do great routing, and I knew that while I was doing it, but it was still a great experience. First time running. This was such a great time, and thanks to everybody for running it and commentating. That was a lot of pressure, but a lot of fun too.
Yep. About those highlights, that clip in the 1F and the door 3, those were the highlights of my performance. But that World 8 in Race 2, what? It was free World 8.
single fortress and then straight to Bowser, and that happened to be the bridge that broke it, or the fort that built the bridge. I mean,
Right,
super quick.
That first tank in the first room in the Road 8, and then the right pipe. Were there three or two pipes? I don't remember anymore. I think there was two, and I picked the right one.
Yeah, there
and
were
it
two.
Was... Yep, and that was the right pipe, right to the Bowser's castle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just an all-around great run from both sides. We were just talking about how True Hyper actually skipped 2 levels at the beginning. It was Atlantis and it was 7-5, 2 levels that you unfortunately had to play Wake. But it was just, he played some Hammer Brothers and found the hammers. It all comes down to the randomizer, giving and taking away.
Yep. Oh, I'm sweating right now, shaking and and stuff. Oh my god.
Yeah, huge sigh of relief, I'm sure. And Wake, hopefully we'll still see you for the Challenge Cup. I mean, you're not done yet.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'd forgotten about that until I was 0-4, and I was like, oh wait, there is something to look forward to here.
Absolutely. I would honestly suggest that you do not let up on practice or anything, because the caliber of runners that will be in the Challenge Cup is still extremely good, but you have done a very good job so far, and I hope to see some really good things in your future.
Hey, thank you very much, guys.
Oh, thank you very much for SpeedGaming. Thank you for the amazing commentators. This win was dedicated to my lovely girlfriend, Sunny Day. I love you. Thank you for supporting me. I hope you're in the chat.
Awesome. Any last thoughts from either of the runners, Fnatic?
That was a fantastic race. Both were pretty close. Just some Hammer Brother item decisions made and a couple of unfortunate levels, but congrats again, True Hyper. And I know Wake already jumped out, but congrats as well to him. And of course, in chat, everyone give these terrific runners a follow.
Indeed. And with that, that will be the rest of our time for the night. If you're not already following SpeedGaming, definitely go do that. They have an SM Rando multi-category currently happening over on SpeedGaming, as well as some other things happening on the different various channels. So do check them out. You don't want to miss a thing, for sure. I can promise you that.
Yep, the bracket stage is going to be an interesting one. I'm probably, if I check the brackets right, I probably go up against Mitch Flower Power.
Well, still a lot to play here, and we will, of course, have to wait and see what that bracket looks like, because there's a lot of things that can happen still. So expect a lot of changes here in the coming weeks as we get further into the round robin stage.
Absolutely. And then please join us for the next match tonight as well. That'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, between Adam Ferrari and Vix Rider.
And that is on Speed Gaming 3, so do not miss it. From all of us here at the Super Mario Brothers 3 Randomizer Tournament, we'd like to say thank you to chat for being here with us today. It's been an outstanding couple of races. We really appreciate that. Can't wait to see you next time. On behalf of Speed Gaming, SMB3 Mario, Discord, the entire community, TrueHyperMario, Wake911, Frantic32, this is Growlf signing off, saying keep randomizing, keep racing, take care.
Yep, see you next time.